Hello, my name is Allah. I am an educational psychologist and researcher interested in artificial intelligence and mental health. Everyone wants to identify the toxic person in the room, but almost nobody asks the more uncomfortable question, what if it's me? What if you're the toxic one? Everyone has a story about a toxic person, a toxic ex, a toxic boss, a toxic friend, a toxic parent, a toxic relationship, but almost nobody stops to ask one uncomfortable question. What if I was the toxic one in someone else's story? What if you call it honesty, but they experienced it as cruelty? What if you call it protecting yourself, but they experienced it as emotional distance? What if you call it setting boundaries, but they experienced it as control? Sometimes toxic behavior doesn't come from evil intentions. Sometimes it comes from pain. The betrayed person learns to distrust everyone. The ignored child grows into an adult who constantly seeks reassurance. The criticized child becomes an adult who criticizes everyone around them. Hurt people don't always hurt people intentionally. Sometimes they do it while trying to protect themselves without even realizing it. The real question isn't, am I a toxic person? Because people are rarely simply toxic or healthy. The real question is, are there parts of me that hurt others without me noticing? Do I apologize when I'm wrong? Do I really listen? Do I allow people to disagree with me? Do I use silence as punishment? Do I use guilt to get what I want? Do I ask for love? Or do I demand it? One of the hardest moments in psychological growth is realizing that you weren't always the victim, that in some stories you were the storm. But awareness isn't condemnation, it's freedom, because the healthiest people aren't those who never make mistakes. They're the ones brave enough to say, I was wrong, I hurt someone, and I want to do better. So before asking, who is the toxic person in my life? Maybe ask yourself the harder question, what if I'm the toxic person in someone else's story?